The site behind me is empty now, deserted. Investigators will be back tomorrow morning, first light, to continue searching through the debris. But for now, really, the focus is on just that, the investigation. What went wrong? What happened in those last few minutes of the flight? Sandeep Pukan spoke to us a short while ago on what could have been happening in the last few minutes of that fatal flight.
At this stage, we must add with a word of caution that there are several theories that are floating around. What really went wrong will perhaps finally be known only when the DGCA inquiry report comes out. But what we know for a fact, number one, that the pilot overshot the touchdown point by about 2,000 feet. He was supposed to land at a particular point. He clearly missed that point, and he flew way beyond that point. And the moment when he touched down, after that, he realized that he did not have enough runway space left for him, available for him to make it a perfect landing. He may have tried hard braking. He did use the reverse thrust that basically sort of brings the plane to a halt. And after that, there was, today the sources tell us that they have recovered the throttle. Throttle is, you would have seen inside a cockpit, it's that kind of the joystick that when you pull that when you give full throttle, that's when the plane takes off. And sources tell us that the throttle of the plane, of the Boeing 737-800, has been recovered from the wreckage site, and its position indicates that the pilot may have tried to take off, but it may have been too little, too late to take a corrective action. Natasha.
So Sandeep was there reporting the possibility that the pilot may in fact have been trying to take off again. Vital clues possible from the last conversation between the pilot and the ATC. And joining us now for more on this is Tejas Mehta from Mangalore. Tejas, what information are you getting about the last words really exchanged between the pilot, the Serbian pilot, and the ATC in Mangalore?
Well, what top ATC sources have confirmed to NDTV is the final conversation between the ATC and the two pilots. Now, what they told us is that when the plane was landing at that point of time, it's about a good 4 to 5 miles away, the ATC contacted the pilots and they asked them in English very clearly, establish contact with ILS. That's the instrument landing system which guides the pilot to land at the Mangalore airstrip. To that, the pilot replied, affirm. He confirmed that yes, he had established contact with the ILS. Then, in turn, a little while later, the ATS said, you are clear for landing, clear for landing. To that, the pilot replied, affirm once again. Now, once this conversation happened, there was absolutely no contact between the ATC and the pilots at all. Now, this distance is about a good 3 to 4 miles, and it takes at least 3 minutes for the plane to really cover that distance. Now, between this, not even once top ATC sources confirmed to NDTV they had any contact with the pilots. So what this really leads to for investigators to believe, ATC sources again told us, is that there probably was an error of judgment by the pilot itself. There also were rumors that the pilots were reportedly told we have overshot the runway. That also they confirmed that did not happen, nor did they ask the pilots to abort the landing. So what they really are saying is that there was absolutely no conversation that took place in the last 3 crucial minutes. The pilot was on his own. If at all they wanted to say something, they would only do it in an emergency situation when they found something on the runway or this inclement weather suddenly disturbed the flight. Otherwise, they say we do not interfere in such a decision because landing is the most difficult procedure. That is a call which only the pilot takes. The ATC will not really interfere.